Well, every time that I'm hoping for a little bit of less mess in the workshop, there's an explosion of everything. Oh well. So let's start with Steve. Steve was obviously is making another daily because he needs a daily. And the engine we had spare, I don't remember if this was his one, mine one, it doesn't really matter. It was there, we had it, and you strip it down. It turns out, I'm pretty convinced this was new engine, like as a replacement. I've never seen a block that clean. I never seen, well, the head is definitely a replacement. Obviously the oil internals on the head, valves, everything is brand new. Pistons, conrods, obviously changed them for the stronger ones, blah blah. But anyways, that's his stuff, his daily. But whenever Steve makes a car, it's never just Steve. It also involves me because obviously in his fabrication. And when it comes to fabricating stuff, it's always me, obviously. I'm not complaining. It's a pleasure. But obviously everything takes time, takes work and everything. So, and here is already hectic. Now, I was trying to tidy up yesterday with the wiring looms and all this stuff, and I just made more and more mess. There's another VR5, obviously again for Steve, for the next daily. So this is the first daily. We already have another block for another setup for another car. And there's another car over there, and there's obviously my pieces. Look at this. This was, well, yesterday it was night, it was late, and I was just wanted to get the job done, and I just made so much bloody mess. But again, not gonna use that exhaust manifold. We decided gonna use this one, but I have to change the flange because he's going to use a different turbo, so this has to be machined and welded and pod matched and all the stuff. And the frog, obviously the frog, now we decided it's time to get it going because, but look at it. Something's missing. There's no engine in the frog anymore. Why? Well, because once you make sure everything works, the cooling system and everything, you drain the systems, you disconnect everything, and you take the engine out for the last time to actually refine everything properly. So here we go, VR5, DSG, and a lot of wires on the top. Again, this is my job for today. There's a bit of a change of mind. I was going to go for the DSG Inside controller because we wanted to run this engine on the original ECU, see how much we can push it. However, with a very limited time that I have to work on my car, I think it will be a waste of time and money. So what we did, I went with the Ignition ECU, the same one Steve runs. It's brilliant. Its self-learning capabilities are very good. We should apparently have a base map from Badger 5 for the VR5. Hopefully that will help a lot because these ECUs, they work primarily with 1.8 when you have turbo, but yeah, if you got the base map for the VR5, that would be great. Also, that ECU obviously manages the DSG gearbox. What controls the DSG gearbox is the laptop inserted inside the DSG gearbox. But that ECU does everything. So, the DSG Inside controller, it will cost me about 500, I would say 600 quid, deliver it to me. Apparently it's very simple to wire up and all the stuff, and it's great. The Ignition ECU, it costs you just over £1,000. So it's just 400 quid more to have a proper control of the engine. Not only the proper control of the engine, which is much more than the standard ECU, the standard ECU is very limiting because you have to use the MAF sensor, which again, we really don't like it. On big bursts and big turbos because lot of, I'm not saying problems that you cannot override, but it's not very ideal. Running everything on a map sensor, it makes sense for maps, it makes sense for safety, and it makes sense for hardware because you don't ruin the sensor itself. And the sensor on the big turbo applications, it has to have a certain position, which in the Lidema 2, it was kind of like, yeah, you can do it, but it's not ideal. I worked out a way to do it good enough, but it's only 400 quid more, and we can have anti-lag, launch control, and one ECU obviously works with both the gearbox and the engine, so it kind of makes sense. We can run dual fuel system, we can run nitrous, we can run whatever, and also it's just much safer. And if I want to change the engine in the future, go for the VR6 for example, no problems. Pretty much same wiring, it's just the VR6 wires, but you have to be adapted the same way, and the same ECU can manage everything. So it just made sense. So we're going straight away for a better setup, because I think that's going to save us time and money. Now, that being said, this is the job for today. Obviously, cleaning all this mess, removing all these wires. I was looking for my DSG wiring, because I needed a plug for the gearbox, because I have to wire it up into the wiring loom. And in the wiring loom with the Ignitron cannot stay as a plug and play as 1.8. It will have to change a lot of things, because again, this engine originally doesn't have any map sensor. It doesn't have any intake temperature sensors. I mean, it has one, but that is built inside the MAF sensor. We want one individual, preferably just before the plenum. Now the plenum is this one here, and you see why outside the plenum, not inside the plenum. Well, because this gets hot as the part itself, and sometimes the heat soak. The heat gets transmitted to the sensor itself, and it's not as precise if you put it just before, and for the air to sense the temperature of the air just before entering the plenum. So I'm going to put it just before the throttle. Map sensor, again, it could be inside the plenum or external, but I think you're going to do it inside, because obviously I've built the plenum, well, I modified the standard plenum, and so I'll just do it this way. Another thing, now the VR5 has a very nice exhaust manifold, because it's individual runners, and he has this, again, very questionable 5-cylinder twin scroll, which we kept it with the twin wastegates, which again shakes the world. A lot of haters, a lot of lovers, a lot of talking, but I don't know, we'll see how it works. I think it's going to work good, but if I'm wrong, I don't care, because we actually haven't studied this properly. From what we're thinking, it's going to work good, but again, it's sometimes just good to experiment and see the results, and then do improvements if you have to be. But I think this is going to be good enough. And obviously tidy up, because I can't stand this mess. Now, another thing I did forgot about it. It was the engine mode, because obviously we got a kit for the DSG, blah, blah, blah. But these DSG gearboxes they're different. Even Mark 1 TT 3.2, which I have this gearbox from, they're different. There's 2 different versions, even 3 different versions. This one here, for example, the flange, you can see that one there, which we have to seal it off, sticks out of the gearbox. The mounts for this, they are shorter, because usually everything is flush with the block. So these are about 3 or 4 mil inside, and this sticks out another 3 or 4 mil. So there's a difference. When I put adapter plate, so this is our adapter plate for the VR6. Now some of the gearboxes, like the one I had before, which it wasn't good, because it was broken, everything was sitting flush. So that flange with this flange, everything flush, as on the 6-speed manual ones. Now this one is a pain in the ass, because it isn't, obviously it's not the same way. Now the ball pattern and everything is exactly the same. It's a depth of these flanges. So this one's here where you bolt the transfer case, and that one there where there is the seal. Now the seal obviously goes inside there. So my prototype one I've built, it was this one here. This one here, obviously you see all the signings. So what I did, I just machined that recess there for that flange to actually go inside and stay in, which I actually like it, because it gives an extra support for this flange. It's not like we need it, but if there is one, I just like to have it, and just put a space here, so it's fine. But I forgot I had to do it on this gearbox, so I have to do it on our final flange. This is actually the flange that comes for the DSG, for the VR6 engine, sorry, not just for the DSG. This one actually fits both the 6-speed manual and the DSG gearboxes. Again, DSG, depending which one you have, it may have to be modified, or it may just go on but it definitely fits all the 6-speed manual ones. They're all the same. And on the manual ones, for example, you receive obviously all the O-rings. One is here, one is here, and one is here. On the 6-speed manual, they are used. On the DSG ones, they are not used. Only this one is used. On all of them, you have to put the original seal, the drive shaft seal, and this is how they look like, and they fit both. Just DSG, because the gearbox's fitment is slightly different than of the O2Ms than for the 1.8. So all seems, yeah, very similar, but it's not. It's complicated. Well, it's not complicated once you sort it out. So that's something else I have to do. Obviously, all the wiring room and all the crap and all the blah blah blah. Then obviously all the parts arriving, because for some reason we had an explosion of orders, lots of stuff again all over the world, and so lots of packages, lots of stuff coming over, and stock you still have to build up. Finishing up of old orders. In mid-time, new arms. I don't know if you see the subframes and arms. There's a material for the arms as well. We have them ordered, new air filters, 4-inch duct pipes, loads of stuff. I don't remember. I think this is for the VR6. Because again, this one has to be built. Because now I have to pull the engine out of this car, and we have to open the engine because we're gonna lower the compression to raise the boost. We're gonna put a bigger clutch, a stronger clutch than we originally supposed to put or wanted to put, because again it's gonna have more boost. And suspensions, well, a lot of stuff. You have to prepare the car for the truck use, so roll cage and all that stuff. In meantime, I'm taking obviously my bike. This is my This is my this is supposed to be my training bike, which at the beginning I didn't know how to ride, and now I absolutely love this thing. I prefer riding this than a T7 almost, because I'm getting along with it. The last time I used it was at the British Rally Championship, the first round, Beacons Today's Rally, where I injured my wrist. I cracked it and almost broke my knee. Funny, because when I crashed, my knee was hurting as hell after I lost it, and my wrist didn't hurt, not at all. It was fine. And after 50 minutes, my knee was almost fine. I could walk. And after 20 minutes, my wrist started to hurt, and I had to ride, because the terrain we were there, I think there wasn't even a space for the helicopter to land, so no one can recover you. You literally have to walk down there. You have to be carried down or ride the bike. And I was able to ride the bike down, and this is when I started to feel like a pin inside my wrist, and then we found out it was broken or cracked. Turns out it was only cracked, so I obviously didn't put a cast on it. Keep working, because too much work. It was a bad decision, because it takes way longer to heal than when it's supposed to be in a cast, but there you go. Anyways, bike is here because I have to, have a look on it, do maybe quick service, make sure I got all the tools. I'm gonna put my panniers on the bike, a holder from the phone instead of the road book holder, because I would like to go away from my stress. The problem is my stress decided to buy the bike for herself, doing the driving license, and decided to ride with me. So there you go. Jokes aside. Yeah, my missus, she rides with me now where she wants to. So tomorrow we're gonna go out around Cotswolds, some easy lines, and I'm gonna take this bike instead of T7. T7 will be more appropriate because I have all my navigation and everything, and I can carry a lot of more stuff. But with my wrist, I don't want to risk it with a heavy bike. This is so easy, to manage that I prefer taking this. In all of this, I just found out my van, actually, because it's raining today, leaks inside. So I have to remove, I had like a strips on the roof that I can put my awning. I have to remove them and find out where it leaks, because it actually leaks on my mattress and my very expensive sleeping bag, which my missus is not going to be happy about this. So I got to fix it today. That's why the van is inside, trying to drain the roof. I have to climb on the top, find the leak is, seal it, and all that stuff. It's like anything else today. I think today I'm going to be here till, 10, 11 o'clock at night. Very late. So, yeah. Every time you think now everything is going good, and we're gonna relax a little bit, and there's gonna be tidier hair. Stuff like this happens. It literally is like a bomb, and everything explodes at once, and you have to do all this stuff at once. So, yeah, not really, well, no, it is great. I can't complain, really. I would say not really great, but it is good because I'm finishing the frog finally, and I'm actually doing this, like I said, at least 1 hour per day, or one day, like today is Sunday, Saturday, I work on, not my car. I'm supposed to work on this only, but I have to do this, and I have to fix that, and maybe doing the manual for Steve. Not sure if I'm going to have time for that. Machine that mount, oh, I don't know. And yeah, loads. But again, can't complain. That besides being sold, the guy wanted to transform in a truck car, which, to be honest, is good because I like to work on these cars. It's my job from over 24 years now. I like doing that anyway, so can't complain. And it would be actually nice to see this car being used proper, the way it's supposed to be used, because these cars actually belong in the truck. Of course, you can use it on the road and all the stuff is all fun because they are big go-karts, but it pretty much is a truck car, really. That's my Silvia. Hey, remember, that car is for sale. Please buy it. If you don't want to buy it, spread the word. Someone will have to have it because we need the space, as you see in a workshop. That is pretty much brand new build. I never used it because it was built for, time attack, and I never had the time or money to compete in a time attack because I was always busy doing this stuff. But these are, why I'm thinking these are better, because someone may think, look at that beast. Yes, that is true. And that car actually is just a tiny bit heavier than MR2, believe it or not. That is only a 1,000 kilograms car. These are sub 1,000 kilograms, depending obviously with the engine, how you set them up and all the stuff. But that is a lot of money to make it work proper. These, peanuts. Basic coilovers, even standard brakes, just to recondition and good quality stuff. Anti-roll bars, bucket seats, have the roll cage if you don't want a full roll cage or even full roll cage. And obviously change the engine because, this is what we do. People don't change them. People even leave the standard 1cc on them till they explode. And they still have huge amount of fun on the track. So yeah, it's cheap, and it's cheap, but it's not. Sometimes you have these cheap cars, but they give you cheap results. This is not. They are money efficient, I would say, not cheap, because it sounds bad when you say cheap, because you associate cheap with crap, and it's not. This is very well designed, and only in UK we have them cheap. All over the place, all over the world, they are not cheap at all. We just very lucky we have them very cheap. But yeah, they are very efficient because you don't need much done to these cars to be able to go fast around the track. And plus, with the roof, with the solid roof, I'm gonna get the genuine one. I know they're expensive, but it transforms the car. They look so much better. And inside, it makes it, you can't see it obviously, but it just makes it like a very nice sports car. It's completely different, I already fell in love with them, but with the hard top, even inside, probably inside makes more difference than the outside of the look, because obviously you're driving the car, you stay inside, you're not looking at the car all the time. I don't know, it's good. However, so standard on ECU, we're gonna go for full-blown everything straight away. So everything's gonna be controlled. Well, I'm trying to make everything controlled on the steering wheel. So your gearbox, your traction control, your anti-lag, your maps, you whatever, and obviously the paddle shifting. I don't think I'm gonna put any kind of sequential shifting through the steering wheel. I think once you have the paddle shifting, I don't know if that makes sense, it's just more work. I'm probably never gonna use it. I'll probably leave that space for a handbrake, which again, that we have to work something on that, because to pull the handbrake, say for example, if you're drifting or Gincama stuff or some, I don't know, whatever you want to do, if you want to pull the handbrake, you have to disengage the clutches, and because the clutches are controlled electronically by the computer, so there has to be some communication with the computer between itself and the handbrake. I'm sure it's very simple to do it, but for now, as you know, I hate electrics, and I'm really not looking forward to doing this job, because I'm pretty sure connecting the DSG, like people say, is quite easy, it's quite simple, especially this phased generation gearboxes. They're supposed to work quite in a simple way, but for me, it's still, I don't want to do it. It's like, can I pay someone to do it for me? No, I wouldn't, but yeah. Anyways, there you go. So, loads of stuff. Especially here. This is not me. This is usually how Steve works, not me. So, yeah, there you go. You know, when I'm complaining about Steve making mess, yeah, sometimes I'm actually worse. All right, I'll see you soon.